So this is the first year that An Post is involved with the Ross. Can you talk a little about how the sponsorship came about?
Yeah, well, you know, with the demise of the Tour of Ireland, that left quite a big hole in our portfolio, because part of what we want to do is to encourage participation in the sport, encourage young people to move up through the ranks. And part of that is actually exposing them to international professional racers. So when the Tour of Ireland went, I approached FBD and we had a long conversation. They were very attached to this institution, and we recognised the value of that too in an Irish context, and we're committed to making this, to continuing this very, very special event. It's part of what we are.
You mentioned a portfolio. Can you talk about some of the other events that you have?
Yeah. We also sponsor the Sean Kelly racing team, and that's many elite young Irish riders racing with continental riders in a continental setting, and of course in a country where cycling is as big as the GAA is here. And because it's based and registered in Belgium, that means that they can race in many, many different races throughout the year. Different races of all sorts of calibre. But this year they were invited to the Tours of Oman and Qatar, which was a wonderful fill-up for them. And that team has expanded quite a bit, and that means that the riders have to work for their places. So it's all working very well in that score. The other part of the portfolio is the one where it's really about participation. It's about amateur athletes, cyclists who would be cycling enthusiastically over long distances, but it's also there's 10K circuits for children and their parents. And the goal for those children is to take part in a major event, not just to get out on the bike because their parents told them to do so. So that's about the size of. We also sponsor the Gorey 3-Day, which is a big Irish race too.
So An Post is covering a lot of levels. I mean, you're starting with the grassroots when you've got those participation rides. Then the Gorey is kind of the domestic racing. The Ross is obviously a higher level, and then you've got the An Post Sean Kelly team.
Yeah, and my approach to sponsorship will always be a multi-layered approach, one where we can really add value to the sport. I don't think any big brand should be associated with something unless it adds value to that sport.
What changes can people expect to see this year compared to other years?
Well, there's certainly new design, new TV advertising, that's all about us. But also we've upped the money, which will allow an extra rider per team, but also it will allow the teams to come in a day earlier, which is all about settling in, getting themselves ready, getting themselves set up. Not just for the teams themselves, but also for the organisers. So those are the two big changes this year, I would think.